following program is intended for mature audiences.
Welcome. What's going on, everybody? Help me welcome my guests Out the Gate podcast. These guys were cool enough to come on. Us smaller channels gotta help each other out. So without me rambling on any further, let's just get straight into the shit, bro. If you're into sports, give these cats a follow at Out the Gate Pod on Twitter. They got YouTube, Spotify, all that. Check it out, man.
Wait, I saw it. You're from New Jersey too?
Yeah.
Where at?
I'm over in
Denied.
right now.
Oh, okay. We're from.
Hey, what happened?
Oh shit, I know where that's at. So you guys are not super far. So I don't know where you guys would want to start, but I figured might as well go with the formalities, man. How long have you guys been podcasting for?
3 weeks, right?
Yeah, we just started up. Yeah.
So you guys just started 3 weeks ago. Ironically enough, I think me and my co-host, we didn't start that long ago either. I think we've only been in it for maybe a month and a half, 2 months, if even that. So, you know, moving off of that though, why a sports podcast?
That's pretty much what the three of us were into. Like, I know I saw in your question you're asking if we played sports. We all played sports in high school, mainly football I would say, but we watched pretty much everything, but I would just say we're all around most into football.
Pretty heavily invested into the NCAA tournament now and opening day for baseball. It's been exciting.
Our third member's a little nervous.
Yeah, he's not allowed to talk.
Say hi, Zuch.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, dude, listen, man. Don't be nervous, bro. I was downstairs smoking before I came up here. I'm nervous too. I'm nervous all the time.
He's shaking over here. He's
Shaking in my boots.
Dude, listen, bro. I'm a nobody. You got nothing to worry about. Trust me. I know it could be intimidating, man, especially when you put that microphone in front of your face and knowing that it's going to get put out into internet land for everybody to hear it. But you got to shake that shit off, bro. You got to go in with the attitude of you're going to be who you are, and whoever doesn't like it can blow you. Now, that might seem a little bit harsh, and I don't know what your personality is like. That train of thought seems to work for me.
Yeah. So don't be nervous.
I gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, you know, you don't have to be a dick like I am either, but, I mean, shit. Sometimes it helps. So you guys, you said you played sports in high school. It was primarily football for all of you?
Nah, just
yeah.
one of us.
Only Zuch, the silent one. Want to talk about your football?
Yeah, I played football and lacrosse.
Gotta stop you right there. I have questions.
Okay.
Lacrosse.
Yeah.
What is it, dude? I don't understand what is going on. If I have the right sport, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm probably about to offend you, but it's a bunch of people that are running around with sticks with nets on them, and it's like hockey, except you're on the grass?
It's kind of like hockey, but it's basically you get to check people, shoot the ball at the net. It's an up-and-coming sport. A lot of high schools now are taking it on. They're getting boys and girls, so it's becoming more of a popular sport.
I seen a lot of it when I was in high school. I'm not able to play sports by any means. I would get killed. I'm way too small. But so now you said you can check people. I know in hockey you can bump people and shit. Is that pretty much what's going on? Is it a defensive move when you're trying to bump?
If someone has the ball, like I can go over and basically not tackle them, but try to knock them out with my shoulder and get them on the ground. Or you can check them with a stick and stuff like that.
Is there penalties in lacrosse too?
Yeah, there's like penalties if you were to like take the stick, slam it down on somebody. Like you can't take the stick, swing it like an axe, but you check them and like poke them with it.
That's interesting, man. All right, my immediate question off of that goes to, now let's say you check a guy, he's got the ball, you whack him to try to knock it loose out of his net, I'm assuming. Now, when he hits the ground, what is your maneuver to get the ball away from him and get it to you so that you can go and try to attempt to get that?
You basically just gotta try to get it out of his stick. So your main, objective is to hit him hard enough that the ball comes out, or if it's still in his stick, then you can try to take your own and try to like scoop it off the ground or scoop it out of his stick, and then try to pass it down so the other, you can score on the other goalie.
Okay, so no hands, right? You can't use your hands or anything like that?
No, so you can't like pick the ball up, and you can't like say someone goes and like tries to shoot it. You can't go out there and grab it, but you can try to take your stick and block with it. And obviously it's like I keep referring back to hockey.
After this, I think I'm gonna have to go load up some lacrosse videos and take a look at what it is that you savages do. Have you had any severe injuries from playing this sport?
I got like a couple of concussions because the ball is like a rock and people shoot it.
Have you ever seen the movie Varsity Blues?
Yeah.
You know that guy Billy Bob? He gets one more concussion, he dies. That's him.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I mean, the ball it's hard. It's like a concrete rock.
Made of wool.
It feels like it once you get hit with it. Trust me.
You got hit in the head with that thing?
Yeah.
So you got your first concussion?
No, not my first.
How many concussions do you think you've actually had? Like 10?
Probably around there.
Jesus Christ.
Shit, man, me and you are probably about the same. The only difference is my concussions didn't come from sporting events. They came from other people. It didn't like something that I said to them, but that's all right.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, Mark gets beat up a lot too, so.
I do not.
So that's okay. Now, do you still actively play, or is it just something that you played in school?
It was just something I picked up in high school to do outside of football. I sucked at baseball, and wrestling really wasn't my thing, so lacrosse was the next best thing.
We basically play the retired version of sports now.
Yeah, so
flag football, softball. Well, co-ed flag football, so we really don't get hurt.
Hey, man, you got to do it. And now, how old are you guys? Because that's going to bring me into my next deal.
Ben and I are both 31, and Zuch is
29.
29.
All right, because I was about to say, I'm 33, dude. I'm not looking to do anything crazy that is going to wreck me, because it seems like now I get out of a chair the wrong way, and it could spell bad news bears for me. So I understand.
Jeez.
If I would have bombed any harder, that joke would have went on a terrorist watch list. But, that's a whole... Damn, that joke went over like a lead balloon. I like that, though. Look, this is what I enjoy, dude. The fact that just went so badly. My friend is going to fucking die when he hears this, bro. Oh shit. Okay, give me a second to recover from that, dude. My God. Alright, so...
We don't know your sense of humor. You have to joke around yet. We don't know, what's a joke and what's not.
I appreciate the fact that you guys were trying to help make me feel a little bit better, but at least the fact that I acknowledged it got a little bit of a laugh. So, there's that, I guess. I mean, bro, when I do it bad, I do it real bad. Who's bad? But that's okay. In the spirit of transparency, man, we are keeping that in. I get it. That's my fault. See, I think I just automatically assumed that people will be able to pick up on just some random shit that I throw out there. But I mean, I should probably throw this out there now. I'm not sensitive, so you guys are free to say pretty much whatever you want. I'm not gonna be running for a safe space.
Oh, not like one of our other friends over here. Got a crying closet.
Oh shit, that's rough, dude. Okay, so now you guys said that you were excited about the NCAA and MLB opening day. I have to ask you, NCAA, I'm pretty sure that's college football, right?
No, it's
College basketball, March Madness.
See, I have no idea what I'm talking about, bro. I should be ashamed of myself. I would hand in my man card, but my girlfriend has already successfully taken it from me. What I've heard about college basketball, there is an insane amount of teams. Like, I know there's the same thing can be said for the NFL or even the NBA, but the college game seems to be a lot more difficult to keep track of, especially with everybody going in and out, all these new faces that are constantly coming up. Is that part of what makes it fun for you to watch something like that?
Well, pretty much now, like you said, it's the March Madness tournament. So basically, all those young guys you're talking about, they'll come and they'll play for a year at a big time college. Some of the crew, some of the young guys, one or two of the best players, usually get pretty deep. Like right now, Duke has two of the best players in the country and possibly three, and they're all going to get drafted probably next year. And they're all freshmen. So it is fun to watch. I mean, I guess it would be nice to watch them stick around and win multiple times, but it's better off for them to play now and not get hurt and make it to the NBA, get their paycheck.
Right, I was gonna say, now you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the sports junkies in this situation more so than me. If I remember correctly, I think it was Kobe Bryant and LeBron James both did a year in college and then went to the NBA, right?
No, they just came straight out of high school. That was when you were allowed to do that.
Yeah, they changed that up now.
They changed the rule now where you have to play somewhere else for 1 year before you come to the NBA. Like, you could go overseas and play for a year and then come back, but they don't let you come straight out of high school anymore.
See, now I wanted to talk to you guys about that. As sports enthusiasts, how do you feel about that? I mean, simply because I would imagine if you're the player, it has to suck, because like you guys just brought up the fact that you can get an injury that could possibly be career ending and you haven't even made it to the big leagues to get a paycheck yet. Do you ever worry about anything like that? Like if you have your eyes on an up-and-coming star, like you said that there are a couple of cats over at Duke that are going to be big and possibly be drafted, does that bother you? The idea that now they can't just leave straight out of high school and go into the NBA?
I think it's smart for them to go to college and try to mature before they go into something like, you know, the NFL or the NBA. But I think that they deserve to be paid if they're gonna have to, you know, go to college. I think if they're playing a sport, it's difficult to go to class, play, practice, and then, you know, half these guys are relying on their scholarships, so they don't have jobs. So I think that, you know, the college needs to look at paying guys, you know, for, you know, college football, basketball, and baseball and stuff like that. So,
but if you pay college athletes, you can't just pay the football players or basketball players. I think if, like, for basketball, since we're talking about just that for right now, like, I think that they should be able to go from high school to the pros if they're good enough.
Yeah,
if not, then just
let's
go to college and stay there for 2 or 3 years like they do for baseball.
Let's put it like this way then. So say a guy like, you have a bunch of Johnny Manziels who don't give a fuck about the sport. They're obviously cocky as hell. They're doing drugs. They're living off daddy's money and stuff like that. You go out and you draft this kid, and then he goes out and gets arrested all this time. So basically, you're just wasting your time, and the space that you needed to, you can get another guy that can develop into somebody else, but you picked him. So I think that going to college is maturing them. And
you don't get mature in 1 year either, though. Because
no, yeah.
You still get the same shit. If they come out after a year, they're still the same kid. They're only there for a year, and they know what they're there for. They're there to make it to the NBA.
Yeah.
But to get back to your injury question, the one guy on Duke, Zion Williamson, I know he took out some insurance policy. If he got hurt and didn't get drafted within the top 6 picks, because this guy's projected to be the number 1 pick, then I think he gets an automatic $6 million, something like that.
6 or 10 or something like that.
Yeah, so he has some sort of insurance policy, but that's only for the best players. Yeah. So if you're just an average basketball player, I think you should be able to come to the NBA if you want to.
Definitely, I agree with that. 100%. Now, oddly enough, you brought up Manziel, because I actually had that down and I crossed it out because I was going to bring him up, and I was also going to bring up Josh Gordon, just with the shit that he had going on with him. But with a guy like Manziel, let me ask you first, before we even go down that route, what teams do y'all have with the sports that you follow?
I'm a Cowboys fan. I mainly just follow football, but if we're talking baseball, I also watch the Mets. I don't really watch basketball. The other guys do.
Okay, so what about you guys?
I'm a Dolphins fan for football, and then for baseball, I'm a Yankee fan. For the NBA, I'm not really a big fan of it, but for college basketball, I like watching North Carolina just because I'm a Duke hater. So that's how I became a UNC fan.
Yeah. For football, I'm a Packer fan. Baseball, Yankees. That's the one I care about the most. And pro basketball, I really don't care. Whatever team LeBron's on, I'll root for. And I guess college basketball also, I'll root for North Carolina just because I also hate Duke.
Shit. So I'm assuming that there must be some kind of a big rivalry between those two teams. The only thing I know about North Carolina is I think that's where Jordan came out of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, they're both in North Carolina,
Yeah, they're
Duke
like-
and UNC, and they're usually two of the better basketball programs every year. So they have some good rivalries all the
And
time.
they're separated by about 5 miles of road.
Oh
So-
shit, that's crazy. I had no idea, dude. I'm learning shit right now. That's awesome. I have to address it. A Cowboys fan. Gross. I understand it. My brother's a Cowboys fan, and I can't talk shit because I'm a Jets fan.
Oh
And-
yeah.
It's a monstrosity, dude.
Years.
And they're going in the right direction now.
Oh, are they? Are they really?
They got a running back now who's pretty good. They'll be all right.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I think they might need to switch up owners or something, bro, because it doesn't seem to be going too well for them. It really bothers me that when Revis was on the Patriots, motherfuckers winning Super Bowls and doing crazy shit, he comes back to New York, it's like nothing happens. Maybe we get a couple of good games out of him, and that's it.
Yeah, he was also at the tail end of his career, and they signed him for way too much money. I think they were just desperate at the time, and he was a big name that they wanted to get. And going back to like the ownership, I think that Woody Johnson's actually took a step back, and his brother's more involved. So I think that's why they're kind of spending more money and trying to get, more winning seasons. I think that they're, like Mark said, they finally found their franchise quarterback. They signed Bell, got a couple wide receivers, Crowder. I think they, Mosley was a big signing for them. So I think they're trying to go in the right direction. I mean, that division is always going to be won, in my opinion, by Bill Belichick. Until him or Brady retire, I think that no matter what they do, I think it's going to be tough for them to take that division. But I think they may be able to get a wild card now.
It's always fun when the Jets are bad, though. We have a friend that's a Jets fan, and his misery is just phenomenal.
Oh, dude, it's brutal. It's fucking brutal. I tapped out. I don't even remember. I think it might have been the Dolphins game last year. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I can't do it. I have enough problems in my life. I don't need more issues. Fuck them. I'll catch them next year. I can't put myself through it. I'm not a fair weather fan, but I can't watch you guys slowly just bury yourselves. It's ridiculous. So I hope you're right. I listened to the podcast that you guys had up. I think it was your episode number 4, where Dan Marino got brought up, and apparently one of you guys seems to feel a certain way about the fact that people say how great he is, but because he never got a championship ring, you don't really consider him to be as great as everybody makes him out to be.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think the team that he was surrounded by was obviously awful. I mean, throughout his whole entire career. I mean, I don't know if I would put him top 5 overall, but he's a great quarterback. But Super Bowls to me for a quarterback mean a lot, and he never was able to win one. I mean, you look at the top 5 quarterbacks. In my opinion, obviously Brady, Montana,
Manning, right?
they all have Super Bowls, and
Manzo.
yeah. No, Eli stinks.
wait, hold on. I gotta defend. And again, I'm a Jets fan. I want to preface what I'm about to say by saying that even though we're supposed to hate each other, I gotta give Eli credit for at least showing up to his job. Even when he does suck tremendously, the guy really does put his heart out there, and that was fucking terrible.
Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of Paul Revere.
I need to find a better way to try to say what I'm
trying to say. He's been an Iron Man throughout the years. Like, obviously he's lasted and started, all these games, and he's kept himself healthy. But you look at his stats, and they've been mediocre throughout the years. And he's had some years that have been awful, where he's led the league in like interceptions. I think he had 29 to 18 touchdowns. And if you're going to consider him a Hall of Famer, it's mind-boggling to me. Obviously, he has the 2 Super Bowls, and they mean a lot for a quarterback. But when you have a defense that keeps the Patriots to under 17 points both games, I think,
you should be doing better.
Joe Namath is a Hall of Famer, right? And he had more picks than touchdowns.
Yeah, I understand that, but
who's better, Marino or Eli?
Marino, obviously.
Why? Eli has more Super Bowls.
He's better statistically.
Not only that, but I would make an argument, because I was gonna bring up Brady as well. But I mean, you can argue that Marino was better because when he was playing the game, it wasn't designed for an offensive player the way it is now. I think if you took Tom Brady and put him back in the Dan Marino days, I don't think his numbers would be as good. Not to take anything away from the man. I hate his fucking guts with a passion, but I would take him on my team in a second. And anybody that says otherwise is a damn liar, because the man clearly is good at what he does. I mean, dude, the game has been moved around so much. Now it just seems like it looks half of the time like you're watching NFL Madden and not an actual NFL game.
Well, yeah, the NFL is kind of like straight away from defensive play. I mean, you look at the Chiefs and the Rams when they played. They scored like, I think it was like 50-something to 50-something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, times change. People are trying to get more offensive coaches in the league as head coaches. But I think that Brady makes people around him better. I mean, he, besides Moss, he really never had a run game. So, I mean, he's made his receivers who he's got, like Hogan and Edelman, and obviously Gronk is a big-time player for him. But, I think that if you switch Marino and Tom, I think that Tom still wins a Super Bowl just because he's just that good.
The question that I should have asked right here was, would Brady be as good in a Dan Marino era without Belichick? Because every time Brady is brought up, Belichick is not far behind, or vice versa. The dude clearly has skills, and there's no denying it. No matter how much you hate the man, you don't get to as many Super Bowls as he's gotten to if you're not that good.
No, yeah, and it also plays a part that he also has one of the best coaches in the NFL too, and possibly, ever. I was reading the stat, and I told these guys that I think he's like 150-40 in the postseason. And that's just absurd.
I would venture to say that he is pretty much the new school Montana.
Yeah, Brady, you're talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, dude, and then real quick, before we jump back over to the Patriots, because I have to bring up Gronkowski, but for the dude that is a Packers fan, and I'm terrible with names, I apologize. I want to know, where are you guys at with Aaron Rodgers?
I'm the Packer fan, Mark, and I think he's 1 or 2 right now, best quarterbacks in the league.
I wouldn't say it. Not last year, he didn't prove it. And the year before, he was injured, so I wouldn't put him up at 1 or 2. I would obviously put Breeze over him. I would put Brady over him. I would put Russell Wilson over him. Andrew Luck at this point.
You would rather have them on your team than him?
Right now, yeah.
Not
he hasn't been healthy in the last 2 years.
The way he plays the quarterback position, he's the best athlete to play quarterback.
You're looking at it. What has he done over the past decade? Obviously,
he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but that was in what, 2006? Brady's gone off and rattled fucking 5 Super Bowls in the last 6 or 7 years.
Brady's a different breed.
Yeah, but I mean, Russell won 2.
Ridiculous.
You put Aaron Rodgers on that team, he wins the Super Bowl too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's a garbage player, but right now I have
Just name 10 quarterbacks that you think are better than
I
him.
named 5 quarterbacks that at this point, right now, until he gets healthy and goes back to being good, that right now he's not a top 5 quarterback.
Top 5 quarterback.
Top 5 quarterback
You're
right
crazy
now.
for saying
I
that.
can name 5.
Yeah, you just
Look at
named
the
them, but they're not
stats.
better. Stats don't fucking mean
Oh
everything.
my God, stats don't mean anything
Why do you
now.
think stats mean
Oh my
everything?
God, they
don't.
do.
They don't.
So we're gonna sit here and say that. Okay, so stats don't mean anything, but we're gonna put Eli in.
I didn't say anything. Stats don't mean everything.
Okay, but they mean a
You-
lot. So
No, they don't.
in football, what does it mean then? It means nothing.
So last year, you're
Yeah.
gonna tell me whichever players had better stats than Rodgers were better than him.
Yes.
That's
stupid.
stupid.
Yes. How is
That
it stupid?
is
How is it
stupid.
stupid?
How is it
How
smart?
is it
That's
stupid?
the stupidest
How
thing
is
I
it?
ever heard.
You take a poll, and I guarantee you, if you ask if anybody thinks he's a top 5 quarterback last year, or the year before, majority
They
would.
poll the players in the NFL, and they all say Rodgers is the best.
Not in the last 2 years. I'm sorry. Not in my opinion.
Well, your opinion's wrong.
Wow.
So, as far as injuries are concerned, though, are you at all worried about his health? Do you think he's going to be able to maintain? I believe it may have been last year, and feel free to correct me because I'm going to be wrong a lot. But I think it may have been against the Bears. It was somebody that they were playing where Rodgers got hit.
No, it was the first game of the season. You're right. He got hurt. He got hurt the first game of the year, and he hurt his
Oh
knee.
yeah, then he came back.
Well,
against the
came
Bears.
2 years ago,
Yeah,
though, he
yeah.
broke his collarbone. That was against the Vikings. Anthony Barr took him down.
Yeah, this year he got hurt the first game against the Bears, but then came back and led them. I think they were
Yeah,
down
they-
by
yeah.
like 2
17
touchdowns.
a
Yeah,
lot, and
and
they
then came
ended
back
up
and
winning.
won.
But yeah, I am a little skeptical with his injury problems. If he could stay healthy, he's the best quarterback.
So now, real quick, just piggybacking off of injuries, where do you put Tony Romo? Now, I know as a Cowboys fan, you must have a special place in your heart for him, but I notice also when we bring up best QBs, Dak Prescott was not even an honorable mention. Now, I know that's probably because he hasn't been in the game very long, but
Yeah, I mean, Tony, when he was playing, Tony obviously was up there with those guys. He had his career, ruined by injuries. That wasn't a big thing. He had his back, his collarbone. He was a guy that just couldn't stay healthy. But if he could stay healthy, he was up there with those guys. I mean, he had the yards, he had the QBR. I mean, he had the touchdowns. I mean, his teams were stacked offensively, but defensively, he never had a defense. They never once centered his career on getting him a defense, and I think that's what hurt him. They put a lot of pressure, and especially being in Dallas, if you're the quarterback, they want you to win. And Tony never stayed healthy enough to get us to those. He got us to the postseason a couple times, but a couple times, obviously, with the fumble, which he should have never been there, holding that against Seattle, and then
Yeah, popcorn earlier.
yeah, and then
was it a catch?
yeah, that was a bullshit call. And of course they changed it the year after.
It's a drop.
I mean, I wouldn't say Tony's a bum, but I think Dak is nowhere near Tony at this point in his career. I think that Tony, when he was healthy, he was definitely up there in the echelons of quarterbacks.
Romo was one of those guys that put up the stats, but he didn't possess the clutch gene because he pretty much blew every chance he ever had in the playoffs.
Yeah, but like I said, he also never had a defense, so he would get him there. But
You don't need a defense to hold the snap.
I mean, you need a defense to hold other teams from scoring, though.
If they make that extra point, then they probably make it to the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
Was that the NFC Championship? Or was that
No,
the,
that was
the
a
game
wild
before?
card. That was a wild card.
Oh.
But if you
They actually had a really good team that year.
no, when they went and played the Giants, I think the divisional they went and blew that. And I think the Giants actually
Giants won on the road.
Yeah.
Last year, the Giants won the Super. They beat the Pats.
Okay. Yeah, Dallas was 12-4 and they didn't have it, and
He has no balls.
getting off a bend, and he didn't have a clutch bone in his body.
He was made out of glass, no clutch bones. Not a
Yeah.
good combo.
It's a good announcer though.
He's a real damn good announcer.
I heard he wants more money now, too.
Yeah. Well, be
That was
stupid.
the other thing I was going to ask you guys was how you feel about him announcing. Do you think that was a good career move for him? I mean, obviously, I think he brings something to the table that a lot of other guys don't. Just because he's played so recently, I think he really gives an updated insight on the game. And I know everybody raves about how good he is at this current job. But were you upset when he finally called it quits, or were you like, all right, dude, you know what, you made the right call, because if you keep going, who knows where this is gonna end for you?
I mean, I was obviously upset because I was a Romo
Right.
supporter. I just at that point of his career, I don't think that he wanted to risk another injury that affects so many people in their careers. I think that Tony saw that they drafted Dak, knew the writing was on the wall, and Dak actually got lucky because he wasn't supposed to be the next guy. It was supposed to be Kellen Moore, and Kellen Moore got hurt, and then Dak stepped in. So I think that he made a right career choice going into announcing. I think that since he's a quarterback, he sees a lot of things that most announcers don't. I mean, he called a lot of things, and it showed in the playoff game against the Patriots and the Chiefs and stuff like that. So I think he made a real good.
What the fuck is his name, dude? Des Bryant. Didn't they trade him over to the Browns, the Cowboys?
No, they released him. He sat out for a while. And then he went to the Saints and then got hurt again.
Okay. See, I'm behind, so I'm going to be off. But it's a good thing that you said that because I don't know why I thought he was on the fucking Browns, dude. I don't know where my head is at.
Talked with him, saying that they wanted to sign him, but they never did. And then the Saints finally gave him a deal, and then he ruptured his Achilles. And then they were going to sign him again, but he's probably not going to sign until someone gets hurt in training camp or halfway through the season when they need bodies.
Okay, so I might as well ask, as far as the rules and regulations are concerned in the NFL, where are you guys at with the domestic violence and all the bullshit that is going around in the NFL? Now, look, don't hear me wrong. I realize, as I just said that, obviously you're not supporters of domestic violence, but the way that some of these guys can just go and do wild shit, and then now they're right back on the field like nothing has gone on, yet somehow this whole Kaepernick thing has blown out into epic proportions where everybody has seemed to have lost sight of what the original fucking topic was about in the first place.
I think domestic violence and stuff like that, the NFL has tried to take stands on that, but they contradict themselves a lot because they let these guys come back into the league. I mean, obviously people make mistakes. I don't think any of us would condone anybody hitting a woman or beating a child because that's been in the news with Tyreek Hill a lot. People make mistakes. Obviously, they're trying to give them second chances. They suspend them obviously with no pay to try to give them a don't do it again kind of outlook. In my opinion, with the Kaepernick thing, I think obviously it hurt him with the whole knee thing. But if we're gonna talk about that, Eric Reed, his partner in crime, he's back in the league. I just think people don't view Kaepernick as a good quarterback anymore. And, I just don't think that's why he's getting signed. Obviously, people are going to bring up the notion that, there's scrubs that are getting signed instead of him. But in my opinion, I don't think he's a good quarterback. And he had his chances when, Denver tried to trade for him and he didn't want to take less money. So, I mean, he kind of shot himself in the foot with that. But, that's
I just don't think he's good anymore. That's probably why he's not getting any deals. It just is what it is. I don't know if it's collusion or not, but
Okay, so
average at best. Nobody wants to deal with all that drama having a halfway decent quarterback come in there. So I think we're all on the same page.
okay, so that's good then. I had a feeling that you guys might say that. So that brings me to this. Who's worse, Kaepernick or Eli?
Kaepernick.
Kaepernick.
Yeah, finish your saying, yeah.
Hey man, listen, I can't argue with you. Every football fan that I talk to says the same thing that you all just said. If the guy was better, if he had Tom Brady-like skills, I think the NFL could tell him that he could do cartwheels in a tutu on the fucking field and nobody would give a shit.
I'm ready to go in, Coach. Just give me a chance. I know there's a lot riding on it, but it's all psychological. Just got to stay in a positive frame of mind.
I mean, don't get me wrong, though. When he played, he was good when he had, when he was on that 49ers team. I mean, obviously, his physical traits were real good. I mean, he was...
But the following season, he sucked.
Yeah,
that's what screwed him.
I think that the 49ers kind of fucked him, too, by firing Harbaugh. I think that, they screwed up on that. I think they should have kept him, and then, I don't think none of this shit would have happened, but that's my opinion. That's, speculation.
I just want to throw a little comparison for you I just thought of. So pretty much, Ray Rice, right? You've heard of him before?
Yeah. I know Ray Rice.
So he got he hit his girlfriend on the other hand on video, and then he never got a job back. I mean, he was kind of older and whatever. But then a similar situation happened with this new guy, Kareem Hunt, who's actually still really good.
He was on the Chiefs, right?
Yeah. And now he got a job back with the Browns. So it goes to show you, I mean, if you're talented enough, then they're going to give you another shot. But if you're not, then they don't want to.
That's true. I mean, I think it was a couple of years ago. I'm probably going to say the wrong name. I want to say it was Adrian Peterson that was the one that hit his kid with a switch.
Oh, yeah, that was him. You're right.
The cat with the Vikings, man. I mean, I don't know where he's at. Like I said, I've been out of the loop for a little while as far as football is concerned. But, you know, having a shit team that you root for will definitely do that for you. If you could take any player and have them come out of retirement and be in the prime of their career to be on your team, is there anybody that you would pick, like you have a go-to, somebody that you wish was playing now and not years ago? I mean, it could be from any era, anywhere from, you know, say Emmitt Smith to Warren Sapp.
For me, it'd probably be Calvin Johnson. I think he retired way too early. And, I mean, the dude was a highlight reel every time the ball was up in the air. So, I mean, if, you know, I would want a player to come back, it would definitely be Calvin Johnson, in my opinion.
For me, I would have to say it had to be a quarterback. I would like to see either Joe Montana or Dan Marino, because I'm the Dolphins fan. That's the reason I became the fan. I would like to see those guys play in this era and actually see if they would put up the stats that these guys put up. Because it's hard to compare the eras like we were trying to do before. So I'd actually like to see what they could do.
Yeah, me too. I would be hard pressed, man, because I would like to see Marino play again. I would like to see Elway play again. You know, just because those guys were such monsters of their time, or even Aikman, as you know, because all these guys, as good as they were then, I cannot even imagine what they would do now.
Yeah, exactly. They would never get touched now. Back then, you're allowed to destroy the quarterback, so you actually had to fear a little bit. Now, you know, you're protected by all these stupid penalties that they got and everything, so I think they would be more comfortable sitting in the pocket. I don't think Mark said who he wanted to see.
Yeah,
let's hear his take.
I wouldn't mind seeing Barry Sanders play again.
Yeah, that was one of my guys, too.
See, I was thinking about it, not to cut you off, dude, I'm sorry, but I was thinking about him, and I was kind of curious to see if one of you guys would mention him. That's why I brought this question up, but go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's probably the best running back that I've ever seen play, and I wouldn't mind seeing him now, just, you know, if he still got it, or in his prime, what he could do against these quick-ass athletes.
Dude, I can't even imagine. 'Cause, I mean, the shit that you've seen in the highlight reels, I mean, I think it would blow people away. I mean, is there any real comparison to him in the league now? I mean, you can argue maybe Marshawn Lynch, when he was with the Seahawks, he had his moments, but it doesn't seem like he's really doing a whole lot with Oakland, if he's even still there.
I mean, I wouldn't compare him to Lynch because I think that Lynch is more of a power back. Sanders is more of like elusive. If anybody, I would compare him to Bell. Bell has that like elusiveness, like that one step can make you miss, and you know, get up the field quick. There's not really anybody in the NFL now that, besides him, in my opinion, that resembles Sanders.
Yeah, I think he was his own type of runner. I'm trying to think of somebody to compare him to, but it's just like a different type of running back.
I want to say like Reggie Bush is like kind of his comparison.
Yeah,
Reggie Bush was terrible, but I'm just saying like the way they both played, I guess, was just like that one quick cut and go kind of deal. But that back, I don't really know exists, or you don't really see it too much right now.
It's because it goes back to the point that you guys made earlier, that it seems to be, while it is an offensively driven game, I think the primary concern seems to be the quarterback. I mean, outside of guys like Bell, and I mean, shit, if I really sat and tried to think of running backs, dude, I don't know who else I would bring up, because that's really the one dude, other than Hunt, and Bell, those are the only two guys, because I don't think Julio Jones is a running back. I think he's a receiver.
Yeah, he's a wide receiver.
Yeah, so you can't even compare.
The top guys now are like Gurley, Melvin Gordon,
Zeke.
Zeke,
Christian McCaffrey.
Saquon Barkley last year. I mean, he was a rookie.
Dude,
But, I mean, pretty much what you're saying. I mean, they come and go pretty quickly.
I can't believe that I forgot Gurley, dude. I really like that guy, man. I really do. I think that he could be a powerhouse of sorts.
The Super Bowl though, with his little injury that they didn't say he had or did have.
His arthritis in his knee, whatever the hell he has.
Yeah, I think they waited until halftime to bring it up.
I think that. Yeah, they were hiding that shit forever.
Yeah, at least the entire playoff run.
Bro, that
Wait,
last Super Bowl hurt my heart, man.
That was one of the worst Super Bowls I've ever seen.
hey,
Really? You hated it?
Yeah, I hated it.
Because it was defensively driven, or do you think that it was just, lazy?
I don't think it was really defensively driven. I just felt like both offenses were
Terrible, yeah.
That was defensive, but it just didn't seem like it was that great of a defensive performance. It was just, I don't know.
at least Edelman won MVP, so I could win some money. That was kind of nice.
For the people that are out there that will be coming across this, if you have not gone over and listened to it, if you guys want to throw a plug out real fast.
Yeah, sure. So we're Out the Gate Sports Podcast, but you can find us on social media at Out the Gate Pod. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We also try starting a YouTube channel as well, but that's pretty tough to get going. We're trying to get subscribers on there. But
Good fucking luck, bro.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering how you got so many. So if you guys are into sports out there, come give us a listen. You got a little sneak peek of what we're about. We like to argue points and make fun of each other a little bit. And we're really big sports fans.
So real quick, I wanted to, before I forget, I wanted to bring up, I know we talked about Brady before. I don't know how old the man is, but every year this gets brought up before the season starts. Should Brady be playing, or is this going to be the last year that he is going to play? How many more seasons do you give this guy? And like, if he never wins, say he plays for 4 more years and he doesn't win another ring, do you think that impacts him or his Hall of Fame status in any kind of a way?
No, I don't. I think winning 6 Super Bowls is ridiculous, and being at 8 is incredible. I mean, 9. Oh yeah, sorry, 9. I forgot they lost 3. So yeah, I mean, it's insane, and I think if he continues to bring his team to the playoffs and maybe another Super Bowl, I feel like he could play. Outstretch it to maybe 50. I mean,
damn,
he's not playing until he's 50.
Hell, if he keeps freaking playing, I mean, he's already 41. So
I'll give him like 3 or 4 more years, and I don't think this. Even if he goes for losing seasons the next 4 years, I think his legacy's already set. I think he's just playing with house money at this point.
I think he was playing with house money even before the last Super Bowl.
Well, this is his last year of his contract, so I guess we'll see what they do if they try to extend him or not. So.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. So this could be the last year that he plays, even though, I mean, like you said, probably unlikely, but I mean, if you're Brady, dude, you have done, you said, I think 5 Super Bowls he's won, right? 6? Yeah, 6 now. You've done 6 times what every player in the NFL dreams about doing and probably never will. I mean, again, look at the Jets, look at the Chiefs. You can go around the league. Atlanta, the way that they dropped the ball when they played the Patriots a couple of years back, dude. Or even the fucking Eagles before they recently grabbed their ring.
Yeah, it's a tough championship to win. And for him to get 6 of them in his career is pretty insane. Him and Belichick got it figured out.
Shit, man. I'm trying to think of anything else that I could possibly bring up. I'm gonna kick myself in the ass later. I will wrap this thing up here with you guys so you can go and do what it is that you're trying to do. I appreciate having you guys appreciate having you on. That's fucking horrible. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it.
Having us.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Us smaller channels need to help each other out, and this is a lesson to the rest of you motherfuckers out there, bro, that don't want to try to build other people. I'll go on my rant later. I'll work it in. But all right, man. I appreciate it, guys. So there it is, man. Out the Gate podcast. Had them on as a guest. I have to say, I was pretty out of my element considering I haven't really been too involved in the sports world lately with everything personal going on in my life. I just haven't had the time or really the want to invest in it. However, because they were a smaller channel, just like we are a bit of a smaller podcast, I thought, what better thing to do than to try to reach out and give somebody a leg up. So if you guys dig sports, if you're into this kind of shit, follow them at Out the Gate Pod on Twitter. You can find their shit on YouTube, Spotify, all the usual suspects as far as platforms are concerned. Appreciate those guys for coming on. Like I said earlier, I'm going to wrap this shit up officially here. We're gonna try to get other guests on in the future. I'm gonna end it here. Shout out to those guys. Give them a follow on Twitter. Go check out their content. Leave them some feedback. I'm sure that they would appreciate that. Alright, man. I'm out. I'll catch you guys next week. Episode number, what are we on? 13 is in the vault, ready to come out. A lot of people are going to be unhappy about it, but there's a teaser up on the Twitter right now, at Laughing Birds. If you have not listened to that snippet, go check that shit out. We got a playlist on SoundCloud. Rate it on iTunes. Do me the favor, please. It would help us out. Check out Douglas B's channel. Do all that nonsense. And that's it, bro. Shut up. You ain't talk enough? My God. Alright, I'm leaving it here. I swear. I'm done. I'm hanging up. No, you hang up. Alright, now I'm gonna stop playing.